Fantastic.
We're gonna eat in the solarium on the chairs.
Lovely.
We had a book club in here one day and nobody left for hours because
The sun was perfect.
we felt like cats basking.
Yeah, I'm gonna take one picture of everybody though.
Oh, well, there's no one here yet.
No, but I'm doing you.
Oh, you're doing me
I'm
first?
here.
Okay.
Why not? Charlotte hates when I take her photo. I don't know if I'll be able to talk right to it.
Am I facing the wrong way into
No,
the
no, you're
sun?
perfect. The sun is just like coming in lovely for you.
Okay, thank you.
Let's see what I can get here.
Why am I thanking you?
I don't know, you haven't seen it yet. Don't thank me. Sorry.
The lipstick.
I know, isn't that the
my
first time
Lord.
ever?
I,
Are you gonna like?
what, why are you taking my picture? You know I hate to
I
have
know,
my
I
picture.
told
I'll sit next to that. I forgot to tell her.
Would you like to talk about something, Joe?
I guess what is on the forefront of my mind, and I know a lot of you do not want me to bring up,
What? Well,
which is I just told Nellie, is that I just got word that Walton's cousin has liver cancer, Andy.
Andy? Oh, my.
Yeah, and of course,
Andy.
that is the theme of people our age. He's my age.
And
That's
you're
not
very
good.
close to him, right?
Not. He doesn't let anybody very close to him, but it does bring back Walton
Sure.
and all the times that.
Why do
Maybe
you
that's
think-
why he's gotten nicer
So
though.
why do you think we wouldn't want you to bring that up?
That isn't the kind of thing people are comfortable with.
Joe, that's tough. Oh my God.
I'm gonna, wait a minute, which part of it aren't we comfortable? Because we talk about illness all the time.
And you resent it.
Wait a minute.
Ah. The
I'm
meeting
going to
is finally
clarify
due.
this for the 75th time.
She thinks that we don't want to talk about that.
I think there are two times when we get together. And I really hope you'll listen to me because I'm very sincere about this. There are two different strands of when we get together, and one is social, when we go out to eat, and not Tuesday lunch going out to eat, but in the evening, and plan something for fun. And there are other times when we get together, Tuesday lunch, and I have objected in the past when the topics that we talk about Tuesday lunch, including illness, slop over into when we're trying to have fun, because I very strongly believe in diversion at this stage of our lives
Absolutely.
from this abyss that we're about to all fall into, and I don't want to think about that when I'm out socializing.
The question is, if we're talking about illness and medical issues, you know, I think some of us have different feelings. I think I just had this hip thing, and I really don't want to talk about it. You know, I'm limping and that's it, because I don't feel anybody can be of use to me at the
Oh,
moment.
thanks
except-
a lot. Did you hear that?
So you use us? Oh.
Thank you,
What do I
thank
need?
you.
What do I
Well,
need?
maybe we could say, hey Millie, how are you?
Yeah, I was going to do that.
Right.
Finish Dorothy for a change. I would say, yes, call me, send me flowers, things. I love that. That was
We didn't send
wonderful.
flowers,
Well, some people did.
Well, we knew that some people would.
But anyway,
what's your
but I
point?
don't want to spend time in the group discussing should I have done this or should I have done that, or does this hurt or does this. That to me is not useful time in the group.
But
that you're
then
all
Millie-
aware that I went through something I love. If I have questions to ask, I will ask you. That's it. I don't want to spend the whole time
but
talking
you're
about
establishing
it.
a
So what's
rule,
the
and this
point?
is
That's
how
my
nobody-
feeling when Joan said we don't want to talk
Connie was
about
gonna
illness.
answer you.
Yeah, but Millie,
That's not the same thing as when people say, let's change the subject, which people have done in this group.
Okay.
And I feel like Joan or like Connie, that is inappropriate, because when people
I'm
raise it,
sorry.
they're raising it because they're hurting and something important is going on in their lives. And you can't just divert it to.
So what, do you say
Hijinks.
that to the person when they're diverting you? Do we have the courage to say that to each other? Somebody's doing that, you're coming up with something emotional, and somebody diverts, do you let it get diverted, or do you say, you know what, I think you're diverting and I really need to talk about this?
Well, Maria, I thought, was very good when she answered that when somebody said that, and she just said, well, you know, that's life, and that's what's happening.
What do you mean?
And
that's
that
not-
was her answer.
That it was her life, and that was her life.
That was her answer. It wasn't about her. That was her answer to somebody who was trying to shift the conversation. And I thought she did it very well and very calmly. I find it hard to answer because I get hurt.
No, but it seems to me what I have felt, because I'm going through this difficult time with Mel, that there has to be, and maybe I made up the rules, but I think it's what I was led to believe here a long time ago, and Dorothy raises an excellent point about Danny. I had Evie, who was bipolar, and we often shared that. We've all had issue with kids. I think there has to be a measure for me, in fairness, of reciprocity. So here at the last meeting, I spoke at length about Mel and how I was feeling, because I thought somebody asked me how things were going. Then, as I'm about to go out the door, Charlotte says to Millie, running up the stairs, "By the way, Millie, good luck." I say to Charlotte, "Good luck for what?" And Millie says, "Oh, I'm having surgery tomorrow." So I want you to know that it felt very uneven to me and very lopsided. And on my half an hour ride home, I thought, oh, I come and unload, and you don't. And then I feel foolish. I feel like I've dumped on this group. And so I am asking, and that is, I wasn't being facetious when I said decide sometimes about what the group is about. And it's true, we all go through different things at different times, but I'm here to listen. I'm not here just to tell you how I'm going, how things are going. And I'm very aware, and I like to have as much fun as anybody, that this group loves to have fun. This group loves to make plans. I love to be included when I can. But there is a level of, for Joan to be hesitant to bring it up, I think everybody needs to examine what you're about. Because 40 years, sentiment will carry me just so far. But when life gets down and dirty, I want to know where I can go, not just for me. I want to listen to how you are. That's what sharing's about.
May I say this, please?
But Millie likes to
I
send
think
flowers.
this is a foolish discussion at this point, because people are not equal, their emotions are not equal, what they're going through in life is not equal. We're not going to measure somebody took 2 minutes and somebody took 15 minutes. It all depends on where you're at in your life. For Millie, for whatever it is, she didn't feel it was important to talk about. That's her right and her decision. Somebody else feels something is important for them to talk about and that it would be helpful for them to talk about, then that's their decision. So, let's not lambaste.
But I
If
think
Millie wants to talk about something,
But
she'll
the
talk
group's
about it.
I don't think any of us over the years are really eager to talk about the problems or the pain. I think in a way there has always been a level of maybe holding back. And then I think there are times though that it comes out, but I don't think any of us are really eager to talk about the problems. I mean, we all, even with each other, isn't it amazing to think we all want to keep some sort of facade that things are okay and we're not feeling the pain or we're not going through problems? Not health. Health is one of the things, but there's also all the other things.
Well,
It really
In
is.
that case, I have the biggest evolution, because I knew Nina's mother. I knew Nina when she was 14.
Wow.
We sat next to each other in high school, and I sat next to this beautiful woman. I've never met anybody like her before. Again, here I am from the little East Bronx, Southeast Bronx, and here I am in Washington Irving High School with people who are not Bronx people. And there's your mother with her gorgeous little nose and her big wide apart eyes and her sophisticated lifestyle, living across from the Museum of Modern Art. I mean, who was this person? To me, she opened up, talk about evolution, she opened up such a world for me. And we used to walk all over New York City by ourselves. We didn't know what we were doing. We just talked and talked and talked. And it was the best thing that could have happened to both of us. It was good for both of us. We really
That's why you came to
enriched each
Northport.
other.
They were here
And
already,
because of
right?
Nina, I told you that. Because of Nina, we went to Northport.
I always thought of your mom as being the angel. She had such, you girls have the same face. To me, she was sweet and gentle and loving. And then I was at your house on Bayview once, and one of you kids did something wrong, and I heard your mother scream at this child. She sounded just like me. So she was human.
Nina was a beautiful, intelligent, creative, but very shy person. And I think we helped her to come out into her own, to go back to school, to get a job teaching. You know, we really, I think the group encouraged her because everyone admired and loved her.
She wasn't shy with the group. She could be very forthcoming. And this is what the group serves different purposes for different people. You know, some people don't contribute much, but when they feel a need for help or just to be heard, the group is there. Your mother was fine with the group. I know she had difficulty with shyness, you know, teaching and acting and so on, but the group is a place of comfort. You know, it's a not comfort necessarily, but it's a comfortable place.
I would like to say this about your mom. When we had our first child, I think your mom had 2 or 3 by then, because we waited 9 or so years after we were married to have our first child. And there was some apprehension, and you can imagine when you start a new family. And your mother wrote a wonderful letter to Millie, and I read it.
I forgot that.
And I read it, and it was so well written. It had a sense of humor, and yet it was chock full of information that was so helpful to Millie. And I said to myself, this shy woman writes this well, feels this deeply, and communicates this well.
I used to read it while I was nursing and reading it. And now you walk down the street, and if the baby cries and you're wheeling it in the carriage, who cares? Don't worry about it, you know. Just such simple little common sense, nice things that were so helpful to me.
Nina had so many gifts, creative gifts, and they weren't fully realized. She had 4 children. And 5. And now that we see her daughter that looks so much like her having so many creative gifts, it's consoling, you know, that life goes on.